We're going to talk about what Steve Young said about the current team today on CanBR. If you're watching it, I'm talking Wednesday. What Steve Young said Wednesday on CanBR. Tell us.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm only about 10 minutes into this thing. I'm sure there's a lot more to come. It's a 35-minute interview, but basically, so far, what he said is the reason the 49ers aren't winning and the reason that they did win in 2019 and they won and were able to make the Super Bowl, with Harbaugh as well, is because they had dogs. He basically said there were dogs, there were
Steve
leaders. Yeah, Steve Young was definitely one. Guys that will pull somebody aside and make sure that they get it right. Whatever it is, they will make sure that they get it right. They are the leaders of that team. They aren't going to take any BS. And he said right now, this team has none.
Yeah, I'd say that's absolutely fair. I mean, who's the leader of this team? You could say Fred Warner, but like the run defense freaking sucks. So I think like right now, he can't really get in front of the team and say stuff. Like he needs to worry about his issues right now, right?
Yep.
Trent Williams isn't a natural leader. Kyle Shanahan isn't a natural leader. He hasn't empowered either quarterback to be a leader of the team. So you really have a team full of guys like, I'm just going to do my job. And honestly, that's kind of how Kyle Shanahan carries himself. I'm just going to do my job. And if you drop the ball, that's on you.
Yep.
That's kind of how the entire Niners attitude is this year. It's like Kyle and Trent Williams. They set the tone. And Trent, let's put Kyle aside because he's struggling. Trent Williams, individually, a great player. Everyone agrees. PFF, by every metric, he's great. Is he leading? Is he inspiring others to be better? Is he a leader on this team? I wouldn't say so.
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's a separation, right? There's guys who inspire people to be better based off play. And then there's guys who are that voice of a locker room. He actually referenced Steph Curry, and he said, I guarantee you that there are people on that Warriors team that play harder because they don't want to let Steph Curry down. Is there anybody on the 49ers team right now that the other players don't want to let down? He doesn't believe so. And that's what it comes down to. I mean, you know that there are guys that are out there putting in maximum effort all the time. And I would argue that Fred Warner is that, but he doesn't have that second piece of it. And, shout out to Javier Vega, but he was on my show last night and he's like, even Warner, like when you look at when Norman was losing his temper in that game, who's the one that came up to him and was like, yo, what are you doing? It was
Javon Wilson.
It was who's the linebacker? Why am I drawing a blank? Al-Shaair. It was Al-Shaair that came up to him. He's like, why is it not Fred Warner that's coming up and grabbing that dude by the face mask and being like, get out of here? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's a real issue right now. And, again, we've talked about it in the past, but that was the one calculation that pretty much all of us missed up until recently. And we've started to figure it out. But when we talked about 2019 vibes, everybody wants to look at on paper. Is this team as talented? Sure, it may have been before the season started, but even then, there was no leadership. You lost the Shermans, the Staleys, the Buckners, the Salas, all of those guys. None of those guys are on the team anymore, and that's where the issue is.
I want to say something real quick. To me, the team the last 2 years has taken on the personality of Kyle and Trent Williams. To me, they have very similar personalities. Remember, Trent Williams was not on the Super Bowl team. Joe Staley was, just as a leader. Trent Williams and Kyle Shanahan both have this attitude of, I'm the best at what I do. And I can go into a game that we lose and come out feeling good about what I did.
Yeah.
It's a team sport. But Trent Williams, no matter what happened, like his whole career, he's played for losers and been praised his whole life. And I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong, but like he has a very much like a soloist, individualist. It's a team sport, but I'm going to go out and knock out my job and feel good about it. And like what more could he really do, right? But To me, that's the personality of the team. Kyle and Trent. Like, if Kittle fumbles, that's on him. If Ayuk fumbles, it's on his, not my responsibility. I'm just going to do what I do, and I'm going to do it well. And to me, like, the problem with that is that Trent's not a leader. Kyle's not a leader. And if that's the personality of the team, then there's going to be a lack of accountability. And that's great for Trent because he has nothing to be accountable for. Trent's great. Kyle isn't. Kyle has a lot to be accountable for. And I feel like this is the personality of the team. Like, it works for Trent, but doesn't work for all 53.
No, definitely not. And that's actually a good take by you, because normally you see this in the NBA. It's a lot easier to spot in the NBA. You see these guys on bad teams that are 20-10 guys. They go and get paid, and then they continue to lose, right?
Yeah, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it's not me. I'm not. And they're not leaders. They're not those guys. They're just really good at putting the ball in the bucket when they're the only guy on the team.
Trent Williams has no experience winning, so how could he lead?
Right. That's totally fair. Yeah. Absolutely. And really, nobody on this team.
Yeah.
Nobody on this team has a career experience of winning. All of these guys, a lot of these guys were on the 2019 team, but who on the team?
Staley had the Harbaugh years. Sherman had the Carroll years. So they could approach a team and be like, this is not what it takes. This isn't it. They could do it. Emmanuel Sanders could do it. He's been on Super Bowl winners. But no one on this team can be like, yo, this is not what it takes. Like, who's the champion on this team? Tell me. Who's the champion on this team right now? Who's the champion?
Is there anybody? I don't know.
Josh Norman's not a champion.
No.
Who is the champion on this team? I just thought of that. Who is it? I don't think they have one.
I don't think they do either. No, really. I don't think they do.
No one can say this is what it takes. This is what I know what it takes. I've been there.
No.
Who?
Shoot, I was going to say Alex Mack, but he just went to a Super Bowl. He didn't win one.
No. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
and that 2019 team, they had Sherman, Sanders.
Yeah.
Sherman and Sanders.
Who would have won, And Staley had been there.
Been there. So, I mean, this team has a lot of people who've been there, but not people who've won.